Before the video starts, we would just like to clear up what we mean by the term kayfabe arrest. When someone is described as kayfabe arrested, it means that person is arrested as part of a storyline and not for real. With that now hopefully understood, let's get right into the video. After being constantly reminded of the loss of his WrestleMania streak,
your ass belongs to Brock Lesnar!
The Undertaker heard enough and confronted Paul Heyman, prompting Brock Lesnar to rush to his advocate's aid, and a wild brawl erupted between the Dead Man and the Beast Incarnate.
I will kill you!
A squadron of security guards and the entire WWE locker room wasn't enough to separate the two, so the WWE enlisted the help of the police.
Don't touch me.
But before the police got involved, the brawl spilled over backstage. Both men were eventually separated, and Lesnar was arrested using zip ties.
Don't touch me, I said.
And taken into custody for instigating the fight. Over the years, Vince McMahon has been arrested numerous times, with his most recent being in 2015, following an altercation with Roman Reigns.
My neck.
After police threatened to arrest his daughter, Stephanie, Vince McMahon started to lose his temper.
You're pissing me off right now. I really don't care.
And we all know what happens next, when Vince gets mad. McMahon quickly learned that no one should put their hands on a police officer, even if he may be the chairman of the WWE.
I'm Vince McMahon! You gotta care who I am, pal!
NYPD cops subsequently arrested Vince McMahon.
You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, wait, that doesn't apply to you.
And he was taken to the local police precinct, where this mugshot was taken. Vince must have dropped the soap when that was taken. During an episode of Raw on the 3rd of September 2018, utter mayhem broke out when The Shield attempted to confront the faction of Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, and Dolph Ziggler. The whole Raw locker room failed to subdue The Shield, which resulted in the police getting involved, and they arrested all 3 Shield members. But there was one small problem. The Shield were formally arraigned before a judge and charged with inciting a riot, criminal damage, and disorderly conduct, all on Labor Day, where courthouses across America wouldn't be open.
I'm brilliant!
Ambrose is no stranger to handcuffs, so maybe he got a little help from this guy.
I'll call you next time I'm in jail. Anytime.
On the 25th of February 2019 episode of Raw, Becky Lynch directly violated a suspension that was given to her by the McMahons.
You are suspended from WWE.
By interrupting a tag team match between the Riot Squad and the team of Ronda Rousey and Natalya. This led to Lynch being arrested.
Get you anywhere, it's not gonna get you to New York.
When police eventually arrived.
It's nice to see Atlanta PD put down their donuts!
But that was not the first time the man has been arrested. Becky Lynch was arrested along with Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey on the April 1st, 2019 episode of Raw, just a few days before their main event match at WrestleMania 35. Complete pandemonium broke out as the 3 of them continued to hurt each other despite being in handcuffs. But it did create a very memorable moment. Providing what's been happening to him lately, it just hasn't been Rusev's day. It all started when Rusev's wife, Lana, joined the dark side, if you, know what I mean. and made out with Bobby Lashley, while her husband was forced to watch. Lashley and Lana continued their romance in a number of segments that were a bit too hot for TV.
I thought this was supposed to be a family show.
Lashley seemed to have had a bit too much fun with it all, if you ask me.
Yeah, boy.
Rusev eventually reached his breaking point and tracked Lashley and Lana down at a restaurant before causing all kinds of chaos. However, this only led to the Bulgarian Brute being kayfabe arrested and escorted out of the building. Despite the circumstances, Rusev is still hopeful that his marriage will work out in the end, and besides, he's wearing his wedding bing.
I still wear my wedding bing.